I have two kids. Boy, he is 8 turning 9 in April, and he has a baby sister who is a year and a half. Those are my two kiddies, very different personalities. Alexander is very introverted, very quiet, but if you get to know him a little bit more, then he can talk your ear off. The girl is the complete opposite. She is very social, very busy, and yeah, she is the complete opposite. So I'm in for a wild ride with her, and her name is Catherine. Actually, I must say I grew up in the quieter side of town. It wasn't necessarily that busy. It wasn't noisy. I think we all have that preconception that if you live in the Kasi, then it is shebeens everywhere and it's loud and, it's chaotic. But funny enough, my mom and my dad, when they moved here, they built their house in Baneda at nearby the police station, like just in that area. And it was one of the first houses actually that was built that side. So we moved to an area where there weren't any houses, it was quiet and whatever, and they built. So it took a while for us to actually move in, I think like 2 years or whatever, to move into the house itself, because it was such a new neighborhood. It was quiet, and it still is today. I think there isn't actually any shebeens in the street itself. If you go down maybe like a little bit, then you'll start seeing the shebeens and stuff. Where we live, it was actually very quiet and it was close to the police station. So I think I got the better deal. I have a very contradictory personality. So I loved everything. I would go from like loving partying, gave my mom a run for her money, to sitting in the library all the time. Growing up, I would say I loved reading. Honestly, it's still a passion of mine. I still do to this day. What did I love? Love music, all genres except for house. Somehow it doesn't connect with me. But funny enough, I can listen to country music. Weird. Yeah, I don't know. I loved a lot of things. I cannot pinpoint to something specific because I had a very wide variety of things that I would be interested in, and I would always want to try everything. I think, when was it? Even 2 years ago, I was thinking I could change my whole career. I'm actually young enough. And then my mom was like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I could go into geology. That seems interesting. So my mom was like, let's talk about that for a minute. So yeah, initially, I'm surprised that I'm here working in a bank because I wanted to be a forensic psychologist actually, and that's what I studied. And then I went through my honors, and throughout my honors I quit, and then I went into math, and then I got a job at the bank. And I've been here since. The dealing room. The dealing room is a place where a lot of things happen, right? We have different desks, the FX desk and then the funding desk. On the FX desk, obviously with world news and whatever, anything that happens, you'll see the currencies start moving in directions, whether it's up, whether it's down, whether you're making a profit, whether you're making a loss. So it fluctuates, and then you'll hear the FX guys like, did you fix this? Did you do this? And and then there's a TV going on. And so from the FX side, they watch a lot of the currencies. I mean, I think, if you've been to the dealing room, you probably see that each of the FX dealers have at least 4 screens. That is on the FX side. On our side, on the funding side, we are much more relaxed because our stuff is, when stuff happens in the market, it doesn't influence the interest rates immediately. What happens is it's a slow and steady pace. But if it happens, it happens. I think one of the biggest times that you can think of is during COVID, where interest rates used to drop like every 5 seconds. And so we would adjust our interest rates accordingly. And then after COVID started to stabilize and whatever, you started seeing the interest rates going up again. And then, and that's where we would be doing that. And so it is basically just sitting all day, looking at what's happening in this market, what is happening in the South African market, because that's where we trade the most, but also the international world and what is happening. Where it comes to us, it might mean that interest rates, if South Africa keeps on putting up the interest rates and we don't match that energy and we're lagging behind, that means that funding and money and liquidity in this market would go out to the next market. It's fun. It's challenging, but it's never get the same day. And that is, I think, it's a surprise every day. You never know what's going to happen. So